Welcome to the channel, friends. So today's video I want to discuss when to use high and low gear and what's the proper application. There's a lot of confusion as to when to use it and when not to use low gear or high gear. So I made some points here behind me to kind of discuss, and I'm going to go over one by one. I have my notes here as well. So, I'm going to discuss ATVs and UTVs and side-by-sides, when to use low gear first. So by using low gear, you're going to save your belt when needed. Now, there's actually a lot of situations where you should be in low gear, more than you really think. Pretty much, let's start with number one, actually. So let's go ahead. So anytime low speed is consistent and needed under 10 miles an hour or below. So that's pretty much a given. Anytime you're going to be traveling under 10 miles an hour through the trail, through tough terrain, be in low gear, because you're going to be ready and you're going to be in the proper gear selection to overcome obstacles and not overwork or heat up your belt too much. By being in low gear, it actually will save your belt life a lot, okay, and drastically improve its longevity. So that's the reason why you want to be in low gear. So to save your belt life and have better riding and not become in a situation where you're going to have belt slippage and problems with your machine. So number two is going to be use low gear when you're plowing, pulling, hauling trailer, and hauling heavy loads. Now, when you're doing any kind of work, heavy work with the ATV, UTV, or side-by-side, always have it in low gear. Most of the time you're going to be traveling under 10 miles an hour, so that would make sense. Save your belt, same thing applies. You want to save that belt because if you're in high gear, you're going to slip that belt when pulling stuff. Whether it's something as simple as a small trailer or plowing, you definitely want to be in low gear when you're actually doing any kind of work with the machine. Number three is going to be, you want to be in low gear when you're in steep grade, around rocks, and rough terrain. Now this is a given. You want to be crawling. You want to be in that crawling mode, so you have to be in low gear for that. You're most likely going to be under 10 miles an hour, like I said. And you're going to be crawling over rocks, boulders, and stuff like that. Even if you're going downhill, you want to be in low gear. Any low speed maneuver is a good choice to be in low gear. Okay, moving along to number four, we have when you're mudding and when you're in water, you want to be in low gear. Now this is going to save your belt as well, because most of the time you're going to be needing to have more power to the wheels. You want to be going in a lower speed and you'll want to be in low gear. Now if you plan on like hydroplaning over a water hole or a mud hole, yes, you want to be in high gear. So if you want to be above 10 miles an hour and just kind of skim across that thing and not sink into it, then yes, that's a situation where you would want high gear. But most of the time, if you're going to crawl through it, be in low gear. It's going to save your belt drastically. Going to the next kind of key point is that you want to be in high gear always when you're in smooth terrain, flat terrain that's relatively not too aggressive, and you're consistently above 10 miles an hour. So that's the key point there. Key factor is, are you going to be traveling under 10 miles an hour consistently or above 10 miles an hour consistently? If you're above 10 miles an hour, be in high gear, and that way your belt has proper engagement and you pick up enough RPM so that high gear is the proper selection for that type of ATVing you're doing. But anytime you're doing any kind of crawling, slow speed maneuvers, putting your machine on a trailer, you want to be in low gear because it's just going to help you out, and it's going to be easier on the machine especially. So those are all kind of tips and tricks for newbies. I mean, even if you're not a newbie, you might still actually have take some good points from this and use it in your ATVing strategy, or while you're out plowing a driveway or whatever the case is. but use low gear. It's very nice. You can actually use low gear slightly past 10 miles an hour. I've used it up to 20 miles an hour when going through deep snow. I don't recommend that, but it can go a little bit past 10 miles an hour. But 10 miles an hour is a good rule of thumb that I like to keep when using my machine. I have a Polaris XP1000 Sportsman, and it's a great machine. And I love using low gear in it. It really crawls over things that you normally couldn't do in high gear. So I think that's going to be it for the video, guys. Let me know if I missed anything, any tips and tricks that you guys think is useful when it comes to deciding whether to be in low gear or high gear. But that's going to be it for the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.